Hello everyone and welcome back to the Path of Defiance event, racing to win the Mazda 787b, and we're on stage 4, and here we have to beat a lap time here. This is where I put upgrades on. All the R dollar upgrades went on here because I was struggling, and there's my ghost. You can see I didn't make it. Even without upgrades, I could get. I wasn't really getting close. With the R dollar upgrades, I managed to set this ghost time of 52 seconds, 0.018. I missed it by like 18/100ths or 18 thousandths of a second. So I'm having to do it again. Yes. I messed up with the ghost here in the carousel corner, and a bit in this last corner as well. So yeah, I get 3/10 ahead now, so that's pretty safe. And yeah, this is a time trial event, so don't go off track or anything like that, or your lap doesn't count. So there we go, 3/10, good, nicely done. And then we have to reach a top speed of 238.1 kilometers an hour 3 times. Without going off track and all that, and we have to win. So, not too difficult. This is the Porsche short track that we know like the back of our hands, because this is the track we drive quite often for the endless endurance races. But we don't have off track, yeah, so no shortcuts today. So coming out of the chicane, that's where you just get a good launch out of that chicane, and you'll hit speed just before you brake for this corner. You can see there we hit speed, so that's basically the event done. It's just rinse and repeat now, so we'll fast forward. And yeah, again, just nicely through the chicane, hit speed, on the brakes. I went a bit wide at the chicane there, 0.4 of a second of off track. And there you go. Don't do that again, because we don't want to fail. I don't want to have to redo this. So yeah, just having fun and doing 2 more laps after that first one, and at the end slowing down to bring Magnus closer. Bot management, bot slowing, that kind of stuff will help later on. The last 2 stages were pretty tricky, so we want to try and keep those bots as slow and easy as possible. Now this is win any of these tracks without going off track for more than 1 second, or complete all 3 events. So I chose the Porsche short track again, and for that I was rewarded with a 5-lap race. I thought, I'll just take the shortest one. But yeah, you do that and you get a 5-lap race. Now, I'm not going to fast forward. I'm not going to edit this in any way, because I want you to see this. I've got the off track indicator there. You can see just on my rear wing, it says I've gone 0.0 seconds of 1 second of off track that I'm allowed. So go off track, and you don't go off track for more than 1 second. But I'm going really, really careful. I'm going to go 0, because it's win this race. Look at this. I'm even letting Magnus through here, because I don't want him to be behind me, bashing into me, because his car is much faster than mine in a straight line. I don't want him bashing me in turn 1 here. I'm just not taking any chances whatsoever. Nice and slow through here, because I know Magnus is slow in the chicanes. All the bots are, always. Even in the endless endurance races, where the bot cars eventually become faster than your fully upgraded car, they gain about 5% or 10% in their stats, and they go faster than you, and they're still slower than you in the chicane. And I'm taking it easy in that chicane. I'm taking it very easy in the last corner too. I'm driving slow here, guys. I'm not pushing at all. I don't want to go off track. I'm being very careful, because it said win this race without going off track, or you have to do all 3 races. I don't want to sit and do all 3 races. So I'm taking it real easy. But you can see, even though I'm taking it easy, I'm I'm pulling away from Magnus because he's just slow in those chicanes. So I'm actually trying here to not even have 0.1 of off track. I can have 1 full second, but I'm not even wanting a tenth of a second off track. I'm taking absolutely no chances here. Why do 3 races when you can only do 1? So that was my thinking, at least, and I was pretty chuffed at this. That I was able to, keep Magnus a fair distance behind me. I'm not under any sort of pressure to go fast. I'm just having a Sunday cruise. I'm going to win this race without going even a tenth of a second off track. And guess what? This is glitched. It didn't work. Didn't work for me. I actually have not found, I looked online, I haven't found anyone saying this worked for them. So that's bad slingshot, because 8 years ago, there's video of these events 8 years ago. This is a flashback event, and 8 years ago, this worked perfectly when Fire Monkeys were developing the game, and I don't understand this. All Slingshot had to do was reactivate the event. They didn't have to fiddle with it in any way. So how did they mess it up that it just doesn't work? And I'm checking there again just to make sure. And it says all complete all of the events. So that means do the first thing or do the second. So just complete the other two. You don't even have to win them, just complete them. But I wasn't concerned about that because check it out. I'm winning. And I'm winning big. I'm winning amazing. So I'm going to slow down because I don't want to win that amazingly. I'm letting Magnus catch me up again. I'm 0.0 of off track. I'm in first place. Magnus gets within 100 meters and I'll cross the line. And no green banner, you see? No green banner. And it took me back to this screen where you choose your race. So, yeah. I'm like, no, I did that. It took me back here. No. Like, screw you, Slingshot. How did you mess this up? You're terrible. Just absolute. The devs are horrible at this. All you had to do is reactivate the event. It worked 8 years ago. Why doesn't it work now? I had to do all 3 of those races. And on the long circuit, I was taking big shortcuts because like, I'll just get this done as quickly as possible by taking shortcuts. That didn't work either. I completed it. But it's still, I had that same screen with all 3 gold. I had to do all 3 of those events without going off track and win. And I checked online and everyone else had to do the same thing. So I don't know what went wrong there, but it's not the only thing that's wrong with this particular event. And yeah, we'll get to more later. But back to this one, it was pretty simple. Just drive around and don't go off track. It says you can beat Magnus if you want to. I was a bit worried that if you don't beat Magnus, you won't pass the goal because this thing is glitchy. And, that's proven in the last event. There's bugs and glitches and this sucks, Had to do all 3 bloody races when I completed the goal perfectly. But that was the first time. It won't be the last time. It happens in this event. It's always something. Just lately in the last in the last year or so, since like a new development team within Slingshot, I believe, have taken over. And yeah, there's always something wrong. There's always something. Anyway, I'm just cruising around here. I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to redo this because I probably do have to beat Magnus. He's half a kilometer ahead of me here, so yeah, I was like, oh well. But I got the banner at the bottom of the screen, and it says I got goal complete. So cool. So that was stage 4 complete. A bit of a hassle and a bit of a mess around, and we only got 3 gold. And then we got some dialogues, and we're on to stage 5. So, and we're at Daytona. And we have a average speed event. So, yeah, no, sorry, not average. Yeah, it's average speed, but the tricky part is we have to stay within 173.7 meters of Ahmed, which is tough because Ahmed has a Jag. He drives it slowly in the corners. Don't worry about the average speed. You will hit that. If you stay within the 173 meters of Ahmed, you will hit average speed. You will do it. The thing is, if Ahmed gets too far ahead of you, it's an instant fail. You'll fail the goal. So, stay real close to him because there's a big problem on the straights with this Jag. And here he goes. He's checking out. I'm not too sure where I put the rest of the upgrades on, so I'm going to put the prices here. This is what I'm upgraded to in this stage somewhere. I think it was this race because I had to do this a few times, and I think this is where I gave in and I put upgrades on the car. Not 100% sure, but the prices are there anyway. The costs are there. So, yeah. There's that V12 Jag, just like in reality, much faster than the Mazda, and there it goes. And yeah, we did it, and yeah, we had some space to spare. Right, there was an irritation here. 351 kilometers per hour without going off track. You've got 3 seconds of off track. I could not hit the speed and bounce the car off the wall back onto the track within 3 seconds. So I skipped it. I could have put maybe upgrades or something on, but the thing about if you put upgrades on, you still actually have to do the event. And I just didn't want to do it anymore, so I skipped it. It was cheaper to skip than put upgrades, so that's what I did. You can try it out. I'm not interested in. It was a bit of a silly thing, so. I don't think I hit 350 kilometers an hour even in the races in stage 8. So, yeah, that was just silly. There's another silly one later on as well. I think it's in the next stage that I skipped as well because it's just stupid. And yeah, but you guys can try it out. You can, maybe you're better at the game than I am, but to me it was like luck. You have to, because you have to brake for turn 1 and you can't go off the track for more than 3 seconds. So the only way I could figure it is to hit the speed was to then hit the wall at the end of turn 1 and bounce back onto the track. And my car just wouldn't do that. So it's it's not racing, it's getting lucky. So I figured, nah, bugger that, I'm not doing that. Here we're driving the Jag, the XJ9. This is a much better car than the Mazda, I must say, with no upgrades because I don't own this car. And it's just loaned. If you don't own the car, it'll be loaned to you for the event. And watch how this, with no upgrades, will hit 350 quite easily. Because it just is, in reality and in the game. It's just a much better car than the 787b. So there you go. Not very good with fuel economy in a 24-hour race at Le Mans in 1991. But yeah, that's another story in another video. Yeah, so yeah, we just have to win the race without going off track, which we're doing quite easily, really. You know, nice and easy to drive this car as well. And I'm taking it easy. I'm not pushing hard because, yeah, I don't actually know this car, but yeah, it felt really good. It wasn't slipping and sliding all over the place like the Mazda. But then again, I wasn't pushing very hard. You can see I'm not pulling away from Charlotte, and I really could do. I could really pull away into the distance away from Charlotte, but I'll do it here on the straight, you can see, but straight to the bank corner. But yeah, there's yeah, it's just a much faster, much easier to control car. So yeah, so not in Le Mans wasn't very economical and had to make a lot of pit stops or drive slowly to conserve fuel, which they did, and they finished 2nd, 3rd and 4th in 1991. But the 787b didn't have that problem, and it could go balls to the wall with Johnny Herbert behind the wheel, and yeah, The rotary engine used less fuel and was more reliable than the competition that year, which is really what made the car famous. It was kind of famous before just because of the way it sounded, and the fact that it was a rotary engine is just just completely different engine to all the cars in the field. But it wasn't like it didn't really win. It didn't win anything else except the 24-hour of Le Mans, and that as well, kind of due to Jag's problems and rule changes, and Merckx retired, the Peugeot's retired, and I think Michael Schumacher's Sauber Mercedes C11 spent like 50 laps in the pits or something like that, something silly. So yeah, all kinds of things, and the stars aligned for the 787, but all those other cars are just way better than it, honestly. So, and in the game as well, this Jag is pretty awesome. But one thing I noticed, as I'm recording this now, I have finished the event, and we didn't come across the Sauber Mercedes C11, which is in the game, and we weren't racing against it. We should have been. The Jags are here, the Porsches are here. Didn't see the 91 Mercedes or the 91 Peugeot. I'm not sure the Peugeot's in the game, but now I think about it. But yeah, we didn't see them. It was just the Jags and the Porsches and the Mazdas. But anyway, we got through that pretty simple, and now we have to again give a good show. Skid for 6 seconds and finish third. So yeah, we did that pretty easy, because we're back in the Mazda, which is a pretty easy car to skid around. You can see we're under pressure immediately from behind from the Jag. Yeah, at least we can go off track. It's kind of difficult to be skidding around and not go off track. So yeah, I'm straight into third place, and then way off the track and straight out of third place again. But yeah, it won't be too much of a problem. See, I'm trying to skid the car, and maybe, trying to skid it a bit too much, but I'm trying a bit too hard to skid the car. And that was nice, skidding past 2 cars there. Yeah, you get some nice moments in races like this where you kind of have to skid. It's part of the goal is to drift, basically, and drifting in a Le Mans prototype car. Yeah, well, Senna did it Senna and Piquet. I remember distinctly both doing it in Formula 1 cars. So yeah, the 80s and at least the early 90s as well. And those were good times for racing. So here we go. I skipped the chicane there, just make sure that we are going to absolutely be in third place. And I can skip the chicane again on lap 2. So I've bought myself a bit of time to do some skidding. I could probably win this race, but I'm not going to. Again, bot slowing, bot management, that's what we want to do, that's what we're focused on. Because here we are at like sort of halfway point in the event. We've still got a long way to go. I don't want those bots to be difficult in stage 8, and I must say they weren't. Stage 7 and 8 were really no problem. Stage 8, at least with the bots, wasn't too much of an issue. So hopefully all the hard work you do now in keeping people at bay. See, Kenji, I'm keeping him at bay. I'm not pulling away from him. He is actually catching me now on the fast bits. So maybe I'll skip the chicane again just to be absolutely sure. But all the slowing down you do and time wasting and that kind of thing, it's kind of like a football team wasting time. It buys you, gets you the win or gets you the result you want at the end of the day. It's a bit, shitty practices, but, still. We want a free car. These cars are freaking expensive. To buy this car is like in dollars is the same amount as like buying a whole freaking game. So I think it's like 800 gold for this game, which is like I think around $60 or something. I think, I'm not 100% sure. It depends. Sometimes gold is on sale and all that. So you can work that out for yourself. Oh my God, I'm not going to do maths in my head now. Right, so that was that done, and that was stage 5 complete. Thank you. Let's look at our massive rewards. Oh, it jumped. We got 5 gold. But also, I collected enough VP over this update to get a free car. The Audi RS5 Coupe. There it is. I didn't have this car before, so I got a free car. And that's from collecting all the VP points that you get from doing these events. So it's always a good idea to give them a go. Right. So there we are. That is stage 5 done. And now we are going to stage 6. And I think, is this at Mount Panorama? I think. No, not yet. That's stage 7. So this one, we've got 5 laps here at the short little Barcelona track. And this is interesting. It says you have to complete 1 lap in under 34 seconds. So I just want to show you what's happening here. I gave myself some space. I'm in 7th place. It doesn't matter where you finish. I gave myself some space so I could go balls to the wall here. And I'm coming up here to the finish line. And I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to zoom in and look at my time on the clock. 32.4, I'm about to cross the line. So even if that's a second to cross the line, it'll be a 33.4, which is less than 34, last I checked. But according to Slingshot, it's not. So here, keep an eye, I'm not going to pause it or anything, but keep an eye on the timer here. It's 32.7, and it does work. So buggy and glitchy yet again. Thank you, Slingshot. But there we go. Eventually, had to do that twice, but goal complete. Okay, next up, we're back in the Jag, the XJR9, and we just have to win this event. So, okay, no problem. Barcelona again. This time, I think this is the GP circuit they call it, not the Grand Prix circuit. Junior circuit, maybe? I think in Forza Motorsports it's a junior circuit they call it. Anyway, it's one of the variants. We're going to speed it up because, I went by turn 2, I had the lead. I think it was just you don't get damage. So, I was just, again, taking it easy. But these races where you drive around in the Jag, well, just remember, this Jag not upgraded, no upgrades at all. So, but I found them really, really easy. I was hoping to get loaned the Jag more often. Okay, that's that done. Yeah. That was cool. Nice to drive a Jag. Now, here we go. You can win an autocross or come 3rd in all 3 events. So again, we don't want to have to sit and do 3 races when you can just do 1. I'm looking at my gold over there. I have like 200 gold left now. Oh dear. Koenigsegg Jesko, you know. Right, so I was worried about this, but this one actually did work. There we go. I got the banner at the bottom of the screen there on the first go, so I didn't have to do the other 2, but they were autocrosses anyway. So if it did fail, I was like, oh, well, it's only an autocross. All right, this one was hit 321 kilometers an hour twice, and that's impossible without going off track. So again, I said goodbye to some gold and skipped. And then we have to be just win without going off the track for more than 1 second. Okay. Yeah, if you look at turn 1 here, it actually wasn't this race. The previous one where you had to hit speed. Again, it was like I could hit the speed, but just have no time to brake to make the turn without going off track. And again, I couldn't find a way to maybe go off track for half a second because you have to do it twice. So again, I was like, I can put on upgrades, but if I do put on upgrades, I'm still going to have to do the event. I'm still going to have to hit speed twice and sit here and be stuck. And I was just like, nah, I really don't want to do it. I just don't want to do that. When it's sort of these impossible type of things where you kind of have to get lucky, I lose. I just get frustrated and I lose it and I skip. I make about 200 gold a day, so I'm not too worried about skipping. Anyway, that's the end of stage 6, and we have a reward of 7 gold. Our rewards are going up. That's good. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Catch the next 2 stages in the next video, and until then, have a good time all the time. Cheers.